ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। We'll read the last 3 shlokas of the 7th chapter. 28 shloka. अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच येषां त्वन्तगतं पापम् जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम् साधिभूतादिदैवं माम् साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च माम् ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः। In the last 3 verses of this chapter, Bhagavan is talking about Nishkama Bhakti and its result. Sakama Bhakti and Nishkama Bhakti is the topic discussed in this chapter. Sakama Bhakti means worshipping the Lord for some material benefit. And Nishkama Bhakta means worshipping the Lord for non-material benefit. Non-material benefit means person is not interested in the artha and kama, means the prosperity and sense pleasure. He wants to attain Paramatma. And with that intention he worships. That is called Nishkama Bhakti. And how this Nishkama Bhakti happens in the life of a person? Generally people are having no bhakti or they are having Sakama Bhakti. Sakama Bhakti means desire based bhakti, devotion. Certainly it is better than no bhakti. But compared to this Sakama Bhakti, material desire based bhakti, Nishkama Bhakti is the best, is better. And how from Sakama Bhakti person will come to Nishkama Bhakti? For that it was said, when a person starts doing some religious activity, and because of that, the papam, some of the papam of the person is reduced, and then he will be relatively free from the confusions regarding the priority in life. And then he will worship the Lord with a firm resolve that Bhagavan alone is to be worshipped. Bhagavan alone is to be attained and to be worshipped. So the turnaround happens because of some contributory prayerful activities. In the last class we saw that how do we earn grace, which is otherwise called punyam? By these two types of activity. One is prayerful activities and reaching out activities. And the person who has done that, he will be relatively free from papam. Because of that, the impurity of the buddhi is reduced. Person is able to see things clearly, and therefore he will have viveka, nitya vastu viveka. And then person will be worshipping the Lord with nishkama bhavana, with the attitude of worshipping the Lord only for attaining the Lord as Vatsa. And then Bhagavan said that those who are yatanti, they are making efforts to attain Paramatma. They finally understand this Brahman completely. They understand the Adhyatma aspect, spiritual aspect, the aspect of Paramatma related to the individual. He will understand all karma very well, and he will understand Adhibhutam, means the aspect of Paramatma, manifestation of Paramatma through the universe, and Adidevam, manifestation of Paramatma with related to Devatas and related to Yajnas. And that person will remember Paramatma even at the time of death. He will not forget. People have this fear that what will happen, whole life I'll do sadhana, then I will not remember. If you have done your sadhana very well, then it will happen. Bhagavan is going to tell in the 8th chapter, whatever thought you have predominantly entertained in your life, that is the thought which come at the end. And therefore this person, having been committed to Bhagavan, and therefore at the end also he will remember that. And then he attains Paramatma. This is referred to the Upasana also, and for a wise person there is no rule that he has to remember a particular thing or he has to go to particular place to die, then only will get moksha. This remembrance of Paramatma is naturally there. Like you don't forget yourself, and the self and this Ishvara have become one. So remembering Paramatma is what? Being aware of oneself. And therefore this wise person, he has got appreciation throughout the life and even at the end of the life. But for a wise person, there is no rule that he has to sit in a Padmasana and meditate on Paramatma and then he has to die. There is no such thing. He is exempted from all that. When he attained this knowledge, that time itself he got moksha. His moksha is not a promissory note, it is a cash like thing. So he is available. Right now it is available. But for Upasana, for Upasaka, the meditator, there are certain conditions which will be talked about in the next chapter. So with this we concluded the 7th chapter, which is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga, the chapter for which Jnanam and Vijnanam are the topics. And Jnanam and Vijnanam, what is the difference? Jnanam means knowing Paramatma as existent. Paramatma is. That is called the knowledge, the Jnanam. There are people who say Paramatma, the Ishvara doesn't exist. Nastika. They say that God is creation of man. We generally say man is creation of God. They say opposite. What? God is creation of man. And they give this theory. What? He said in olden days, people, these tribals, the ancient people, primitive people, they did not understand the phenomena of this thunder, lightning, etc. So they were afraid, and therefore they connected with some higher power, and that is how this God was invented. So for them, Ishvara is invention of man out of fear and ignorance. That is the theory. They are what? Nastikaha. They do not believe in Ishvara's existence. There are people who believe in existence of Ishvara. They are called Astikaha. And now we have got one more category. What are they called? Agnostic. Agnostic means confused people. They cannot say that God is not there. They don't say that God is there. I don't know. I am not sure. So those people are called agnostic. Agnostic means they are not very sure of Ishvara's existence or non-existence. Like some party, they don't support this one also, that one also. They are waiting for the opportunity. So whichever one works, agnostic people. And what should be our approach to all three categories of people? If somebody is astika, we appreciate that person has got some punyam. See, to believe in Ishvara also you require some grace of Ishvara. Without grace of Ishvara, you cannot have the acceptance of Ishvara. And therefore, if somebody does not believe, what should be our approach to them? We pray for them. We don't blame them. We don't fight with them. We don't try to argue with them. It will not work. So we love them. Otherwise, see, what happens that if you are astika, means the believers, and they are non-believers, and you fight with them, they will say it is better not to believe because those who are believing in Ishvara are fighting. So you create a good image about the believers in them. That by believing in Ishvara, you are able to bring dharma in your life, show the benefit through your life. Rather than arguing with them, show the benefit of believing in Ishvara by doing what is to be done and by being more compassionate to them. Compassion and love are the ways by which we, if at all we can change people, we change. Not by arguments, not by fighting, we can change people if at all we change. Generally don't. But if at all people are changed because of us, because of our love and compassion. Loving and compassionate behavior alone can change them. By fighting with them, arguing with them, we cannot change. You tell me in your life, could you change anyone by lot of arguments and fighting and he was changed? That doesn't happen. Nobody has changed like by fighting. If somebody wants to change, we can help. We can show the beauty of change. We can help the person change if he wants to change. Otherwise, we cannot. Many people have that complaint, Swamiji, my husband doesn't believe in God. What to do? So I try. And yesterday only somebody came and told, Swamiji, my son doesn't believe in right things. And he says, I'm a teacher. I am telling my students to do right things and my own son doesn't listen to me. I feel very bad about it. I said, you cannot change anybody. You can pray for him and treat your son as your friend. Today I said, today you go and tell him that now we are friends. Treat your son as your friend. Then perhaps, some discussion will happen. Otherwise, he says, Swamiji, my son doesn't talk to me. Why son doesn't talk to him? Because this fellow all the time giving these advices. And youngsters don't like advice. Therefore, the best thing you treat them as friend and talk about general topics, whatever the topic of his interest. If he's a daughter, her interest, then treat him as a friend. So generally, our approach towards a Nastika is little bit, that holier than thou. Oh, you are a Nastika. There should not be that. They are in their journey. Everybody is in their own journey. We respect their pace. We respect their place. We are not superior just because we are believers, and they are not inferior because they are non-believers. And one more thing we remember, that just because a person does not believe in Ishvara doesn't mean he's a bad person. I know people, those who are not believing in Ishvara, but good people. And there are some people who claim to be believers, but their behavior is very harmful, hurting. Therefore, don't have any complex based on this believing or not believing. If at all you feel for the person, that how come he doesn't believe in Ishvara, you pray for the person. You believe in Ishvara and you believe in efficacy of prayer, pray for the person. Don't fight with the person, don't look down upon the person. And those who are agnostic, to them also what can you do? You can say that when you want clarity, please go to some appropriate teacher. Don't say you come to me. Say go to the teacher. So otherwise you think that you are interested in, in increasing your client. No. Say go to some teacher. And thus there are three types of peoples: Sakama, then is Astika and Nastika. And those who are having the knowledge that Ishvara is, then they are called Jnani. And their knowledge is called Jnanam. Vijnanam means what? I am Ishvara. Knowledge, Jnanam means Ishvara is. Knowledge that Ishvara is called Jnanam. Knowledge that I am Ishvara is called Vijnanam. And this chapter deals with both knowledge of Ishvara's existence and knowledge of identity with Ishvara. Therefore, this chapter is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga. And this chapter, 7th chapter, has got 5 topics. Totally, there are 30 verses, 5 topics. The first 3 topics are introduction, where Bhagavan said, I will talk to you about Dhanam and Vijnanam, having attained which you will not have anything to be known. So he praised this Jnanam. Then second topic is Ishvara Swarupa. What is the nature of Ishvara? 4 to 12. The nature of Ishvara. Nature of Ishvara is that Ishvara is consisting of Paraprakriti, Brahma, Satchidananda, the Vastu, reality, and Maya. So Maya and Brahman, or Maya and Chaitanyam together are called Ishvara. And what is that Ishvara? Is Jagat Karanam, Srishti Sthiti Laya Karanam, the cause of creation, sustenance and dissolution of this universe. And everything is manifestation of that Ishvara alone. Nothing exists apart from that Ishvara. And some prominent manifestation of Ishvara was presented. That in the water, Bhagavan can be appreciated Rasaha, in Vedas as Pranava, like that. So some prominent manifestations of Ishvara were presented. That is the second topic, Ishvara Swarupa Jnanam, knowledge of the nature of Ishvara. Third is, the topic is cause of samsara and the solution to the problem of samsara. That is from 13 to 19 shloka, where it was said, what is the cause? The cause is the ignorance and ignorance-based wrong conclusion about oneself and about the world. That is called the samsara karanam, the cause for samsara. Generally, we think that we are suffering because of this person, that person, or sometimes we say we are suffering because of this Rahu, Ketu, Shani, Buddha, Mangala. So we generally blame our planets for our suffering, or sometimes we blame the people around. Whereas the Shastra said your suffering is because of the ignorance and ignorance born wrong conclusions. You are considering yourself to be this limited being. You are considering yourself to be papi, sukhi, dukhi. Therefore, you are suffering. That is how the ignorance and ignorance born conclusion was presented as samsara karma. What is the solution? Bhagavan presented solution as surrendering to Ishvara, otherwise called bhakti to Ishvara. And there are four types of bhakta: artha, artharthi, jignasu, and jnani. So you start your relationship with Ishvara as artaha, the person in distress, artharthi, one who is desirous of some material benefit. And then you become nishkama bhakta, jignasu bhakta, where you want to know Ishvara as yourself. And then finally you become Jnani Bhakta. Thus, Bhakti, surrender to Ishvara, was presented as the means for moksha. Then the fourth topic is Sakama Bhakti. 20 to 27 Sakama Bhakti was talked about. And Bhagavan said that Sakama Bhakti is not useless. Sakama Bhakti also gives benefit. It strengthens my Shraddha in Ishvara. I remain in this Vedic fold, and therefore I am not going to the wrong activities, and I get the benefit what I have been desiring. But Bhagavan said the limitation is that you always have limited result. By Sakama Bhakti you get material benefit but limited result. And you are limited and the result is limited. So limited plus limited will remain what? Limited. So it is something like your upgrade person is there in jail, but is upgraded in jail. So still is in the jail. So person by doing various rituals and all will definitely get some promotion, but still person will remain in samsara. And thus Sakama Bhakti benefit, significance, and these limitations all were talked about. And the last topic is Nishkama Bhakti. That is from 28 to 30th, Nishkama Bhakti and its result. Nishkama Bhakti means worshipping the Lord, pursuing the Lord without any material benefit. And the result is what? You discover oneness with Paramatma. You don't remain separate from Paramatma. You become one with Paramatma in all aspects. You appreciate Paramatma in all aspects and discover oneness. And that is how this chapter is dealing with the topic of Ishvara. Ishvara is Bhakti, and Sakama Bhakti, Nishkama Bhakti, all topics related to Ishvara were talked about. And now the 8th chapter will enter into where Arjuna asks some question. Because Bhagavan presented the subject matter in the 7th chapter in such a way that some questions will come. That is the style of communication. In olden days, we used to have the newspaper and they will give some story, and it will continue for so many weeks. And at the end, the story, the last part, what? There was a knock at the door. That's all. Continued. So what? You will read next time. That's how it will be there. So continued, it will be say continued. So similarly, Bhagavan also did like that. He used some words: Brahma, Adhyatmam, Adhibhutam, Adhidevam, Adhiyajna. So naturally, Arjuna will have question: what are these? And that is how Bhagavad Gita continues. Alright. With this background, we'll enter into the 8th chapter. अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मम् किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम् अधिदैवं किमुच्यते अधियज्ञः कथं कोत्र देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः. अथ now अष्टमः अध्यायः, the 8th chapter. Totally there are 18 chapters. Now we are entering into the 8th chapter. So many years we have been studying. I think 3-4 years, I don't know how many years, but we have been studying. So we have reached 8 chapters. Someday we will reach 18th chapter. Alright. And this 8th chapter starts with Arjuna's question. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna asked. He asked 7 questions in these 2 verses. And Bhagavan is going to answer in that order also. Whatever order Arjuna asks, in the same order Bhagavan is going to answer. Alright. So what is the first question? Kim Tad Brahma? What is that Brahman which you talked about in the last? Te Brahma Tad Viduh Krishnam. What is that Brahman? Because so far Bhagavan Sri Krishna has not talked about Brahman. Even though from Bhagavan's standpoint he has talked about Brahman, but he did not say this is Brahman. Therefore Arjuna said, what is this Brahman? So far it did not come in our syllabus. So now you have introduced new topic. So he is asking, Kim Tad Brahma? What is that Brahma? Question number 1. Question number 2, Kim Adhyatmam? What is this Adhyatmam? Because you say that Te Brahma Tad Viduh Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. So what is this Adhyatma? Spiritual. Adhyatma, one translation is spiritual. Or Adhyatma means related to the self, related to the individual. So what is that which is called Adhyatma? Then third question is Kim Karma? Because Bhagavan said that Te Brahma Tad Viduh Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. And therefore he asked that what is that karma? What did you mean by the word karma in that context? What is karma? Action. Purushottama, that is a sambodhana addressing to Bhagavan. Purushanam Uttamaha, the best among all living beings. Purushottama. Then Adhibhutancha Kim Proktam. What is told Adhibhutam? That which is related to Bhuta, elements, beings. And Adidevam Kimuchyate. What is called Adidevam? Related to the Devatas. So these are the 5 questions. Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma, Adibhutam Kim, Adidevam Kimuchyate. Kimuchyate means what is called this Adidevam. Now 2 more questions in the next shloka. Hey Madhusudana, O Krishna, Adiyagnaha kaha atra asmin dehe, atra dehe, in this body, who is Adiyagnaha? Presiding over the yajna, the ritual, the actions. And Katham, how does he live in this body? So who is Adiyagna and how does he stay in this body? That also I would like to know. That is the 6th question. The question regarding Adiyagna. So Katham and Kaha both are, Katham means how, Kaha means who. And both of them are considered to be one question. Who is Adiyagna and how he stays in this body? The last question is Prayana Kale cha Katham Jneyaha Asi. At the time of death, Katham, how Jneyaha Asi, you are to be remembered. Niyatatma Bhihi, by the people with disciplined self, disciplined body, mind, sense complex. Because you don't have that discipline in your life, then at that time also the mind will not be disciplined. And therefore mind will go to only those bhoga vishaya. It is not easy to remember Paramatma at the time of departure. If you have not lived the life remembering Paramatma throughout, you cannot manipulate. Like we used to do that throughout the year, we will have only play and roaming around. And last 3-4 days or 5 days, we read and pass the exam. So this type of thing we have done, some of us. So we have done. So we think that the same thing I will do, because Bhagavan said, whoever remembers me at the end, he will attain me. So I will do that. Whole life I will do all roaming, whatever indulgence. And last 3 days, when I am going to die, that time Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya I will do. I will manipulate. So Bhagavan says, see, I have given you intellect. With my intellect, you want to manipulate with me? What is this? Bhagavan will be smiling. So that manipulation is not possible. So it requires lot of preparation. So Arjuna asks that how you will be remembered at the time of death. In fact, in almost every language, there will be some bhajan, there will be some song which is related to remembering Paramatma at the time of death. इतना तो करना स्वामी जब प्राण तन से निकले. Like in there is a bhajan. Oh Lord, do this much when my body is going out. मेरे प्राणांत काले तुम सामने. Oh Lord, when my body, I am departing from the body, may you come in front of me. I think in every language they will have some song like this. Because we have got this concept that remembering Ishvara at the time of death is very important. So we pray to Bhagavan, oh Lord, please come. प्राण मेरे प्राणांत काले तुम सामने हो, मुरली बजाते मन को लुभाते. So may you be there in front of me playing the flute. We pray Bhagavan. Bhagavan says that, see, live life properly. Simply you pray that you come at the end, I will not come. I will come if you have lived your life based on remembering Paramatma. That part is going to be talked about. So Arjuna now asked how you are to be remembered at the time of death by the people who have discipline in their life. Alright. So these are the 7 questions asked by Arjuna. Now Bhagavan is going to the answer. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavodhyatmamuchyate Bhutabhavodbhavakarah Visargah Karma Sannitah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan, glorious Lord, told the following thing. And Bhagavan is going to answer the first 6 questions very briefly. One sentence answer almost. 7th question, how to remember Paramatma at the time of death. That 7th question he is going to answer very elaborate. The whole chapter, that is the main topic, that how to remember Paramatma and what is the significance, what is the advantage. Alright. So now first question, and Bhagavan is going really by order. Not like in exam we were told, no, that whatever you know the best you write first. When we were small we were told, our teacher will come and tell that don't get stuck with the question which you don't know the answer. You write what you know first. So we will write question number 7 first, and then 4th, and then 3rd, and last minute some question number 1, because that we didn't know. So we did not. So generally we follow that order. But Bhagavan doesn't have that problem. So Bhagavan is answering exactly in the order. So he said, answer is gives Aksharam Brahma Paramam. He said that imperishable reality is Brahma. Paramam Aksharam. The imperishable reality is Brahma. Imperishable highest reality is Brahma. And what is that? That is described in Shastra as Satyam Gnanam Anantam. what we generally know as Sat Chit Ananda. That Sat Chit Ananda, which is the reality, the truth of everything and imperishable, that is Brahma. One sentence answer. This Aksharam Brahma Paramam is explained in Vedanta for so many days, months, years. Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave very brief answer. Imperishable, highest imperishable reality is Brahma. Why he has to say Paramam? Because sometimes the Omkara, the word Omkara also is called Aksharam. Letter. Letter Om also is called Aksharam. Even any letter is called Aksharam. To distinguish from that, Bhagavan is using the word Paramam Aksharam. The highest imperishable reality is Brahma. And what is Adhyatmam? Same reality manifesting in the individual body as the inner self is called Adhyatmam. So reality is one, but reality when seen as the truth of universe, it is called Brahma. And the same reality seen as the truth of individual, manifesting through the individual, it is called Adhyatma. And the vision of Vedanta is the truth of the universe, which is called Brahma, and the truth of the individual, which is called Adhyatmam. Both are one and the same. Technical language, they say that Tatpada Lakshyartha. In the Tattvamasi Mahavakya, the implied meaning of the word Tat, that, is Brahma. And implied meaning of the word Tvam, you, is Atma. And what is the vision of Vedanta? That Brahman, you, Atma are. You, Atma, are that Brahman. So by understanding this Akshara, Paramam, and this Svabhava, the nature of this Brahman available in the individual, then we get the complete vision. So Swabhavaha Adhyatma Muchyate means the Swabhava, the nature of Paramatma manifesting through the individual, is called Adhyatmam. Adi means related to. Atma means here this individual body, mind, sense complex. So the Paramatma, the highest reality manifesting through the individual body, mind, sense complex, is called Adhyatma. So Swabhava here means the nature of Paramatma manifesting through the individual is called Adhyatma. And Bhuta Bhavod Visargah Karma Sangitaha. What is karma? Visargaha, offering. In ritualistic context, the answer is given. The word karma, action, is used for offering to the Lord. You say swaha and you offer to the Lord is called visarga. And we can extend to any offering to the Lord. Not only in the Yajna Kunda, any offering to the Lord is karma. And this visarga, which is called karma, is bhuta bhava udbhava kara. Bhuta means beings, living beings especially. And bhava means the utpatti, the birth of living beings. Udbhava means vriddhi, growth. Karaha means bringing about. This karma, which is in the form of offering to the Lord, is bringing about the creation and the growth of all living beings. How? When you do any yajna, it will create some punyam. And punyam will be staying in the Surya Devata. And Surya Devata will send rain. And from rain there is this annam, food. And that food will give rise to the birth of the living beings and the growth of the living beings. And therefore, this karma is called Bhuta Bhava Udbhava Kara. You do karma, because of that karma alone, new living beings can be born and they are sustained. So karma gives birth to various bodies, and karma alone sustains the bodies. And now, in the fourth shloka, the answer to the other questions, answers to other questions are given, which we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti